All right, here we go. Getting started with the CBA review. This is for CBA number 4. Starting off here at the beginning, I'm going to make this. This is all going to be in 2 parts. The first part here is going to be these first 2 pages, and once I've done that, I'll make a second video that covers the other 2. All right, getting into it. These first couple of questions, solving a system of equations. Best way to do that is either going to be using elimination or substitution. Now to figure out which of these you're going to do, for elimination you're looking for everything to be lined up. So for x, for instance, you want your x's, your y's, your equal signs, and your numbers to all be lined up and ready to go. That's what we have here. We have x's lined up, y's lined up, numbers lined up, equal sign lined up, ready to go for elimination. Now the whole idea for elimination is that you have 2 numbers be the same, so that when you combine them, you'll be able to eliminate them. Now, because this question has asked me to solve for the value of y, I'm going to eliminate x. So, like I have here, there is a -4 in this equation. I want a +4 here in this equation. Now, I can't just put a +4 there, so I'm going to have to change the whole equation. All right, what I've got here now is just kind of showing what is going to happen. Since there isn't a 4 here, and I want there to be a 4, I'm going to multiply so that when I multiply, I'll have a +4 there. So I'm going to do that multiplication and rewrite my system out here to the side. All right, so I've done my multiplication on the second equation. I multiplied by 4, so 4 multiply here, that's how I got a 4. 4 times -3 is -12. 4 times -6 is -24. Now that I've done that, I've got 2 numbers that will eliminate each other whenever I add. I just have to add for the other parts. I'm going to do that real quick. All right, so adding up my y's, 9 minus 12 would be a -3, and 9 minus 24 is going to be a -15. Now, I would just have to finish and divide to solve for y, and I can say that y is going to equal -5, which tells me my answer is C. Again, what I did here was I multiplied with 4 so that I had a number that would eliminate. After eliminating, I just had to divide. There's my answer. Number 2. All right, number 2 is going to be the situation where we're going to use substitution. And the reason why we're going to use substitution is because I know what one of these variables equals. I know that y equals 6x minus 11. So what I'm going to do is, in the equation, I'm going to substitute in 6x minus 11 for y. Here, let me rewrite it so you can see. All right, so as you can see, I have written out the second equation here, but instead of writing y, what's going to happen now is I'm going to write 6x minus 11. Since I know that y equals 6x minus 11, I'm able to substitute that into here. Now it's just a matter of solving. I'm going to do that work, and then I'll show it to you so you can see kind of how it works out. All right, so here's kind of the rest of the work to finish this out. I distributed, multiplying, you get -18. Now here, -3 times -11 is a +33. This, a lot of people messed up in class, and I saw that a lot, got a lot of weird answers. Just be careful there. After that, combining like terms, so -2 and -18, or -18, is -20. Now we're just solving a 2-step, subtract the 33 to eliminate, do the same on the other side, divide the -20, and there we go, answer is 2. Now that I have that information, I can go back to the beginning and say, all right, I know what x equals, and I also know that y equals 6 times x minus 11. Well, if I know what x is, then I can say that instead that's 6 times 2 minus 11, which would be 12 minus 11, which is 1. So I know what my x and my y value are, so my solution would be 2, 1. Number 3. All right, nice long worded problem here. Just reading through the situation, I'm going to jump to the variables. C dollars, that's for whenever you buy a t-shirt. Variable P, that's whenever you sell a t-shirt. So what we're looking for here is that C and P first are matched with the correct number. So here, last month she bought 600 t-shirts. So the number 600 should go with how many t-shirts you buy, which is the variable C. So looking at each of these options, option A, 600 times C, that's correct. Option B, 600 times P. That's not correct. That tells me option B is out. Same thing for C, 600C. All right, that works. Option D, 600 times P. Nope. That tells me that option is out as well. Second piece of information here, and obviously sold 500 of them, so you're going to have 500. That's going to be attached to P. This month she bought 400 t-shirts and sold them all. So the number that's attached to number of bought t-shirts is going to be 400. And since it's all sold, that same number is going to be what's attached to the variable for selling them. So you should see 400C and 400P. That's here on option A, so A is going to be our correct answer. Something else that you could also use to help narrow down your options would be to look at what it totals up to, because they could very easily just switch those two numbers on you and you not notice. So be aware of that. Okay, looking at number 4, this is the second page. Students subscribe to a sports magazine, I'll use an S for that, and a fashion magazine, I'll use an F for that. The school receives 24 issues a year. Now, the number 24 is a total, so that means that I'm going to have something adding up to give me 24. Now, because it's the number of issues, I'm going to add up the number of sports and the number of fashion issues. The next part here is to use that second sentence, or the third sentence here. The number of fashion issues is 6 less than twice the number of sports issues. Now, this is a very difficult sentence to kind of to break down. And I'll do it like this. The number of fashion issues is 6 less, so 6 less than. Now, this is not referring to an inequality. If I take the number 10 and I ask for 6 less than 10, you would take the number 10 and subtract 6, and that would give you 4. 4 is 6 less than 10. So really what this is meaning is you're subtracting 6. So number of fashion issues is 6 less than subtracting 6. Twice the number, twice being multiplying by 2, 2 times the number of sports issues. So all of this together, we have the number of fashion is 6 less than twice the number of sports. There's another equation that we can use. Now, the way that the equation is going to get used is same way as number 2, substitution. So I'm going to show you how that's going to work real quick. I know what F equals, so I can substitute that here. And I'm going to do that just real quick. I'm going to clear some space so I can do that. Alright, so S plus F equals 24. S plus, instead of F, I'm going to use minus 6 plus 2S. Now, just to be clear here, you can use 2S minus 6, or you can write it the other direction. Either way is fine. But bottom line is, at this point, I can combine my terms, S and 2S, 3S, and now we're just solving a two-step equation. I'm going to put the work on there real quick. Alright, so two-step, eliminate the 6, divide the 3. There's my answer for the number of sports magazines. I'm asked for the number of fashion issues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that information, come back over here and say, well, I know how many sports issues there are. I can use that information here to just substitute in and solve that. So sub and solve, and you'll have 14 as your number of fashion issues. All right, on to the last one for this part. All right, the last problem for this part. The table corresponds to 2 lines in the coordinate plane. What are the equations that represent the system of equations? Now, looking at this, there's not really an easy way to do it. How I looked at it was, I have this point here. So I have the point 2, 5. What's special about the point 2, 5 is that it's the solution. And I know it's the solution because it's the same x value for both functions. So what I've got now is I've got my key. I've got the way to find out what the answer is. I know what the x and y value should be, so all I need to do is plug the numbers into each of the equations. It has to work for both of them, otherwise it's not the answer. I'll show you that for option A real quick. Alright, so I've plugged the x value, the 2 in for x, and the y value 5 in for y. Now you just have to make sure that each of those equations is correct. And that's just calculating. And if you do actually calculate this, you get 26 equals 26, and 19 equals 19. All right, I'm going to move on to part 2 now.